Thanks for stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but a means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy YouTube, you find that a lot of the content you like to watch is very visually engaging, and you're several hours in to watching videos and haven't gotten nearly as far along in your project as you would have liked to. So that is where I come in. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. You are watching a video from my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series, in which I push myself to get all of my knitting done by this holiday season. And I got the post notice of the deadlines to have everything shipped off based on what shipping service you choose, as far as with the postal service, USPS. And I'm definitely on track for everything going to my direct family. However, today's episode, we are going to revisit the cozy blanket that I've been working on for 2 years now. Or no, at least a year at this point. A year and a half or so. Something like that. A long time. And I am definitely running close to the wire with this project. There have been several things going on that have prohibited me from continuing to stay on track. So I'm hoping that I can finish this one. And I am on ball 1, I believe, of this last color. So this gray here. And I have 5 more balls left of this color to finish, to have ready to go. And yeah, we're getting down to the wire here. And later I have a block party video coming where you guys can see all of my finished projects that I have that will be getting on their way in time. And right now I have some stuff drying, which actually, it's dry now, so I'll probably film that a little bit later today. And I have some other things to block tonight. And here it is, Sunday. Oh, and if you are returning, you know that I have been talking about a camera that I have, and here it is. So I have my camera. I'm so glad it has this viewfinder monitor that folds out, and I can turn it so that it'll face me like you guys are facing me right now, so I can see that everything is in frame. I tried it out last night. Our friend is in town, and we were supposed to meet up, but I'll talk about that later. I got this camera in the mail, had to go pick it up at the post office and open it up. Everything is there that it should be. However, it's missing some key elements. 1, a wire, so that I can actually take the content that's on the memory card here and put it on my computer. And 2, it should have a protective bag. Right now I just have it in a canvas bag to keep it dust free, but as far as durability goes, I should have a camera bag that should keep this protected, so if it gets bumped or anything, it stays intact, because it was a lot of money. But my partner bought it for me for my birthday, so I'm very happy about that. And the tripod I'm using right now is relatively cheap and flimsy, but it holds my phone quite nicely. So I think eventually I'll need to upgrade the tripod as well. I tried it last night, and I was deathly afraid of it just plummeting to my lap, and I need a mic so that you guys can hear me. It picks up the sound of my voice quite well using just normal, like my voice right now talking, but I have amped up the decibels and the editing software. I found out I can do that, so I know a lot of my earlier videos are rather quiet, but going forward, at least the last maybe 3 or 4 or 5 videos, I've tinkered around with the sound and the editing software and was able to make it a little bit higher so that you guys can hear me, because my phone mic isn't the best. And I tried the lavalier mic that I bought for my phone with this, and it didn't work either. So it works on my computer, not my phone, and that's bizarre. So there we go. So yes, new camera. Hopefully, well, I have to order some more things for it, so hopefully next weekend, if they come in time, I'll be using this fancy boy, or perhaps the weekend after. You'll see footage nice and pretty with it, because it is nice. It's so much better than my phone, and I'm really excited to start filming with this one with you guys. But yes, so today's project, yes, the blanket here, it's getting long. You can see my several sections, and now we're starting on this light gray portion. So go ahead and get into this. I've been knitting with it downstairs at my computer desk just to have something to work on while I am editing videos or listening to other videos. And I found that I do a lot better knitting when I'm listening to somebody actually talking than if I'm listening to music. I don't know why. Let me know if you're like that too. Do you find it more effective to listen to a human having a conversation or just like some voice background noise? Oh my gosh, I just pulled my stitches off. There we go. Or are you more of a music person and just kind of go to knitting videos when you have a chance? I find that listening to music is better for like if I'm walking around in the city or if I am doing some chores like mopping or dusting or organizing a closet or something. That I can listen to music just fine. But knitting, it's something about hearing somebody talking that really makes a difference for me. But yes, so about our friend. So today I'm filming. It is Sunday. It's a little after 2 p.m. Well, it's probably like, by the time I got set up in here, it's about 2:30. So it'll get dark soon. It's a pretty cloudy day. And so yesterday was Saturday, and our friend who's in town was supposed to meet up with us. They were going to use their car that they left back home, try it out, and then if it didn't work, they were going to either take public transit, but they ended up borrowing their father's car. And we went to, the plan was to go bowling, because we love to go bowling, and to eat at a restaurant that my partner really wanted to go to because they hadn't been there in a long time. However, our tradition is to go to a different restaurant. So I was just kind of like, well, whatever, that's fine. And because it's a chain, there weren't too many around. Like, it was a small chain to the area. And we found one that was close-ish, not too close, but near a bowling alley and this restaurant. They were close enough to each other. So our friend was in town, hanging around in the city area, and we're in the suburban area, so we were just waiting, and then what happened? There was some reason we were waiting until later on to do something, and I don't know why exactly, but evening rolled around, and then we finally heard back that we could go. And I think it was on our end, honestly, that the holdup was. I don't even remember what happened. Yesterday was a blur, apparently, and so we head out, and we get to the town we're supposed to meet our friend, and we get this message saying, I can't leave the city because my dad's car is dead, or it won't start, there's all these complications, and I'm like, well, why? You were just driving around, like, how could all of a sudden everything not go well? And then I was mad at my friend's dad, because I'm like, well, why, your son is in town, you haven't seen him in a long time, and you give him this horrible car to drive, and then it ends up just dying on him while he's stranded in the middle of this town and has to get back home somehow. So we were already in the town we needed to meet him at, so we just said, fine, we'll tool around here for a little bit and then head back to our house. And we had to stop off at Home Depot because my partner is building a space station. Their computer area setup is just crazy. But, you know, you look at all the yarn I have and it's kind of equal. So they invest a lot in the computer. I invest a lot in yarn and crafts and things like that. So I guess it evens out. But we were in Home Depot because they had to pick up something to work on. And they were in the section of like wood and saws and stuff. And I was looking at spray paint because I had this idea to spray paint everything I love teal. Just out of nowhere. Anything cute that I wanted, that I liked, that was a color I didn't really care for, I was just going to spray paint it. And I was close to deciding on what color, but time got the better of us, and I came back to the aisle my partner was in, and they were talking to one of the store associates about computer stuff, and, you know, made a connection, And it turns out that the associate is a carpenter and was showing us their portfolio of all of the really cool stuff they've worked on. And I just out of the blue was like, do you make cat trees? And they said yes. So because my partner exchanged contact information with them for computer related correspondence, I know that there's somebody who can do a custom cat tree, and I'm so excited. I want to save up because the regular cat tree is really expensive, and I wanted to get a new one for Koji and Kabu because the one I made for them a while ago is just fallen apart, and it's going to take me a lot to repair it, to touch it up and everything. So I'd just rather start fresh with something else. It was a fun project. I really am proud of how it turned out, but it's been several years now, and it's just on its last leg. And I want to get a nice tall one so they can really climb up high and run around and everything. And a friend of mine had posted a picture of her cats, all three of her beautiful kitties, on one tall cat tree. And I asked, is this really sturdy? Because I could totally see Koji. He's a big guy. He's like 14.5 pounds or so. And he's bulky. He's not fat. He's just a strong, big cat. And I could see him like shooting up to the top of this cat tree and it just crashing down. And who knows what's around it, knocking everything else out with it and causing a lot of damage to the house. So she's like, no, it's totally sturdy. And she mentioned how her cats will run around on it and it hasn't toppled over yet. So I was excited about that. But now that I know there's somebody who specializes in woodworking, could probably do something. It'll be more because it's, a handmade craft, all the supplies and everything. It's not mass produced, but it will probably hold up years longer than the one I made because mine was all like pressed board, like wood chips pressed together, and like particle board tables from IKEA is essentially what I made. And I modified it off of this IKEA hack site that had a bunch of different cat trees, and this one in particular at the time was the easiest for me to do on my own. And there's some other ones I want to make too, but as far as like a cat tree, I'd really like to have something custom made, and if so, by somebody else, so then I don't have to worry about getting supplies and, having extra. And because I live in a townhome, I don't really have a place to store it. Like if I had a garage or something that I could keep, or even work, like there's no real working area for me at my home because I don't have like my own yard or anything. So I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I want to be in touch with this person as soon as I can so that I can hopefully have a new cat tree for my kitties. So some of my own hair was in that yarn. Let me know in the comments if you have cats or dogs or any animal pets. Have you made anything custom for them as far as like their living spaces or any kind of activity related project, like you made a doghouse or an interactive game or custom activity wheel for your gerbil or something? Let me know in the comments. Have you done any like personalized stuff for your animals? And I think I'm doing better at keeping track of how many stitches I'm doing at a time so I'm not messing up anywhere. I think last time I talked to you guys and was working on this, I lost count of what I was doing and ended up later having some issues that hopefully go unnoticed because it was way too far to take it back. Or frog it. Well, not entirely frog it, but definitely tick at least a row back, and that's a lot. Cool. Yes, I'm so excited to be on a vacation in a couple weeks. It'll be the end of the busy period for me, and then I can relax a little bit. So, looking forward to that. looking forward to having some days off so I can shoot some more, especially with my fancy new camera. It's actually a used camera, but it's in really good condition, and it does what I need to do. There's definitely a lot more going on with it that I need to learn, but since it didn't come with a manual, that might just come from me playing around with different settings or trying to find a PDF version of the manual online somewhere. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so back to my friend. So we found the guy. That was a highlight, I think, of the day, because now I know someone who could possibly help us out with making a cat tree. We came back to town, and this restaurant opened up by us that, I mean, not entirely close, but closer than the other one. So it's like a one restaurant. Everybody knew about it. It was always busy. And finally, they opened up their second location. And same not nearby. They're not close to each other, but they're definitely closer to us than the main restaurant. And so it was actually the grand opening this weekend after months and months and months and months and months of not being open, after saying they were, and then they pushed it back, and they pushed it back. And I gave them a call last week at some day last week. I was like, hey, are you guys open? It says you're open online like 6 o'clock or something. And they're like, no, we're going to open in 2 weeks. So it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet. And a friend of my partner actually sent him a text to say they are doing a soft open or something like that. So we're like, ooh, yay, finally it's here. And since we didn't meet up with our friend last night to go bowling and eat at the other restaurant, we decided to try it out. And yep, it was busy. It was funny enough, we were closer to the first restaurant last night, and we went there. It was packed. So I was like, oh, maybe people don't know about the second one that just opened. And we were waiting, and it was going to be like a 25-minute wait. So my partner was already really hungry because they didn't have lunch. And they did have lunch, because we went to the post office to pick up my camera, and then we went to Dunkin' Donut, and they had already eaten breakfast, and it was my lunchtime, because it was already around 11:30 or so when we got out of the post office. So I had lunch. Had breakfast, brunch or whatever. They had lunch, but they didn't have anything between then and around 5 o'clock or so when we were on our way out again. So they were already very hungry. I was just hungry because it was dinner time. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to wait that long, but I'll wait if you want to wait. And then we sat there for like maybe 3 minutes. And then they're like, okay, let's just go. So we crossed our name off the wait list and left. Came back to town and tried the second restaurant that had just opened. And yes, it was still busy, but we got seated pretty quickly, got our food, everything was good. Because it's closer now, we might try again in a week or so, or whatever, and see how the quality's doing. Because I'm like, well, my partner gets the same dish every time at the other place, and I was asking them to compare it to where we usually go. And they're like, oh yeah, it's a lot better. The quality is so much better. Everything seems like really quality ingredients and, a lot of care into making the dish. And I'm like, well, okay, it's day one open, so let's try in like 2 or 3 months, see if you still have the same feelings about it. And I don't know. I usually get something else because I like the dish they make, but how they make it isn't the best I've had at other places. So I usually get something else I know that I wouldn't be so disappointed with, and it was fine. I mean, I'm not like raving about it, but it's very comparable to at the other restaurant. So yeah, we did that, came back home. I had opened the package because we were doing some other stuff, and I just didn't open the box yet that my camera came in, because they tried to deliver, but it was like authorized pickup only or like authorized person had to be there, so I had to wait until I could get to the post office to pick it up. They weren't going to be able to deliver it unless I was there to physically accept it. And I didn't want to risk them attempting on the weekend, because if I was asleep, then I wouldn't be awake to get to the door in time, or dressed perhaps, and didn't want to miss it again. So I just left it at the post office with the intention of picking it up on Saturday when they were open. And I left the box downstairs, so when we finally got back home, I opened it up, took a look at it, and realized, oh, I'm going to need a cord to get the data off of the memory card to film. So I tinkered around with it, did a little bit of recording, but because I can't upload or export, I decided to go back to the phone. So here we are again with the phone. And hopefully, hopefully next weekend or the weekend after, when the cord comes in, I will be able to film and take the data off of the camera. And it turns out, I was looking online, it's like a Nikon 5200 series SLR, and the specs online on Nikon's site say that it only lets you film for 29 minutes and some odd seconds at the maximum. So I tried different settings, because last night when I tried it out, I was like, wait, I don't have a whole hour. And my partner said that the specs say you can film for a whole hour, but no. It doesn't say that. And that's fine, because this phone only lets me film for like 31 minutes and some odd seconds. So I'm kind of used to it. But at the same time, that means if I do any longer videos, I'm still going to have to splice everything together where the footage cuts out. And that's unfortunate. But it is a good point. It's better quality. It has some features that are really cool. I will be able to attach a mic and not have any problems, except for that lavalier that I had. Not going to work for that. But anything really professional, then I have a camera that I know is a good quality that'll work with it. Instead of like this off-brand questionable stuff. So super excited about that. And later down the line, when I can invest even more, I'm really excited to see what else I can add to the production value of this. Probably even buy a better editing software, or find another free one that works really well, so that I can make some more customizations to the filming. But for now, as far as I've come with just my phone, I'm pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. So, with that being said, we're going to roll into the week here when you see this, I'm sure, as by the time I finish getting it imported into the computer, edited, converted, and uploaded to YouTube, it will likely be Monday, sometime Monday morning. So I hope you have a good week, and I hope you have had a great weekend. And let me know, what projects are you working on for holiday? Have you already started your holiday knitting? I hope so if you are, but if you're super fast, then maybe you're already done. Or if you're like, I forget who you are who commented, but you said you knit, and you just knit projects, and you don't really have anything assigned to anybody. You have a bucket or a bucket or something like that of all projects you've knit, and then so as gift opportunities come up, you just pull something out of your bucket. And I think that's a great idea. With the exception of socks that I know need to be like within a certain size range for people. If I can guess what shoe size they have, or if I already have that knowledge, like for the people I'm knitting socks for this year, then I can definitely keep knitting socks and just have socks ready to go. But, I mean, most adult women I know and most adult men are somewhere between a size 10 men's and a size 12. And then most women are between like a 7 and a 9. So that should be okay. So I might be able to just knit generic size socks for years to come. But yeah, now that I have even more yarn from when I went to the pom-pom making class, and I stopped off at the yarn shop and picked up some hanks, I think I'll be set for socks for a while, at least for more female-themed or feminine-colored socks that are stereotypically feminine looking because they're like pink and purple and just like paisley, or not paisley, but like pastel-y colors or very light colors. But I know there are definitely people who identify as male who like crazy colors. Like my partner loves pink, like hot pink, like this Hello Kitty blanket behind, or Hello Kitty pillow behind me. Loves pink. And they'll even use baby pink as an alternative as long as it's pink, but they prefer hot pink, but they'll use stuff that's baby pink. But I have like some cotton yarn that I bought from Wool and the King a couple years ago, and I bought it for them in the hopes of making a scarf without really paying attention, or actually I was paying attention to what I bought, but I was unaware of what fibers are good for what projects. And I bought a lot of yarn to use for making a scarf, double knit scarf. So it's hot pink and black. And now I've just been using the hot pink, at least one ball of it, for provisional cast on yarn and reserve scrap yarn for reserving stitches and things like that. So I haven't really used it for a real project. But if I modify, or not even modify, but the armchair socks that I was knitting for my brother, it's a worsted weight yarn requirement, and the cotton yarn I have is worsted weight. So in theory, I could make cotton socks that are thick, like worsted weight fiber. Worsted weight fiber. Yes, that makes sense. And then they'll just have hot pink socks. I had to look at more things that I could probably search on Ravelry and see what else is cotton, worsted weight projects that can take like 3 or 4 hanks of yarn or balls of yarn, and try to make something useful for them without being too weird about it. And then I don't know what to do with the black yarn now, but I'll find something, I'm sure. All right. What am I doing? Oh, okay. I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. There we go. Yes. See, sometimes I keep going, and there's like this break in the blanket between each stitch I'm supposed to do. And then I keep going, and I realize I'm starting to make knit stitches when I should be making purl stitches, and I realize I needed to bring my yarn forward or back again. But I'm trying to count in my head like 1, 2, 3, 4, so I know when to switch off. But as I'm talking to you, I realize I can't like walk and chew gum at the same time in some cases. So there we go. All right. So we're making some progress here, and just to kind of give you guys a review. Ooh, I just ripped my sweater. We have like these little rows. I had to start a new yarn ball, but these rows right here are like where everything breaks. So yeah, I'm still working a long time on this project, and I'm hoping my goal, if you watch my other ones of this particular project, you know I was like, oh, I'm going to knit like a ball a week. I'm not going to have that luxury because I have 5 more, and I have fewer than 5 weeks left to have everything ready. So we'll see. Maybe I can do 2 in a week if I just concentrate on this project. But that's going to be quite a feat because then I'm going to be stressed out and try to get it done and try to work on other things because I have blocking left to do, and I have one more project to finish, and that is the Chevy wrap, and I'm almost done with that. So I think what I'm going to do is, while I'm waiting for this video to convert, I'll just try to whip that one out the rest of the way, and then I'll just have this blanket to focus on after that. we'll see. I say a lot of stuff in theory as a plan, but does everything ever go as planned? Not at all. So that is how it is. But I would like to say thank you so much for being here and watching me and listening to me and continuing to support me in my knitting journey. And I hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world. And thank you so much for stopping by. Bye.